Okay, this is just a random question I had texted to me by a parent. Feel free to text me questions that you have from time to time. So this one wants you to find f g of x. So the way that I remember this is I think if order of operations PEMDAS, you always start with the innermost parentheses. So that's telling me to start with the inside of, which is g of x right now. So since g of x is equal to this, I'm just going to put this right like that to start off. You guys see what I did there? Okay, so we got f of x is this, g of x is this. This is just weird function notation. Whoever came up with this, I don't know what they were thinking, to be totally honest, but it is what it is, so we'll just work with it. So f g of x, again, we're going to start with the innermost, so we're going to substitute. Since g of x is equal to this, I just erase g of x, and I put this in its place. Now, in like fashion, so we don't even need to look at this anymore. In like fashion, I'm going to take this one, since it starts with an F, I'm going to go to this one right here. And this x to the second minus 5 right here, so in this spot right here, I'm going to take this x and substitute this into the place of this. It's hard for people to grasp their first try usually, but many of my students have seen something like this where it's f of, let's say, 3. You take the 3 and you just plug it in for x. So in this case, if that was f of 3, you'd be 3 to the second, which would be 9. And then 9 plus 5, which would give you 14. So in this case, however, there's not a 3 there, so we're going to take this and plug it into the place of x instead. So I'm going to take this, plug it in for x. And then I'm going to have this right here. X to the second minus 5. And it's to the second power, we're going to have another x to the second minus 5. Plus 5. And if you don't understand where this came from, a lot of people at this point I've lost in the past, so I'm going to go back one step. So just keep in mind, everything right here looks exactly the same as everything right here, with the exception of my x got replaced with that. So then since this is to the second power, that's why I went ahead and did this. Is that making sense so far? Just kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you doing this the exact opposite way. Now that one could have been simplified a little bit further as well, and I will get back into simplifying that. But she had a question, so what I'm going to do is show her how it works doing it this way and see if she can make the connection. Okay, so we have g f of x. Okay, so our f of x right here is equal to this. So what that means is I can take that f of x and I can erase it and put this in its place. Okay, does that part make sense? Okay, so since this one starts with a g, what that means is it means to go over to the one that starts with a G, and wherever you see an X, you put this in its place. Does that make sense now?
Kind of.
So you go to the one that starts with a G, and you find the X, you erase the X, and you put this in its place. So now it's going to be this. Getting it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an advanced topic, by the way. So x to the second plus 5, since that's to the second power, we're going to do this. And keep in mind, this is the distributive property twice. Some of you learned this as being called FOIL. So what we're going to do is distribute with the positive 5 here. So 5 times x to the second. Positive 5 times positive 5. X to the second times x to the second. X to the second times 5. And don't forget about this right here as well. And then your last step would be just to turn these into, put them into their respective T-charts. And then you're done.